The following is paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network. You're listening to Real Estate Radio Fresno on News Talk 580 KMJ and 105.9 The FM KMJ. Now, live in studio, your host, local real estate expert, Craig Barton.
Good morning, Central California. I'm your host, Craig Barton, and welcome to the Real Estate Radio Network, the most important hour of radio each week. Dramatic pause again, sorry. Here on News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ. Real Estate Radio is a show dedicated to bringing some rational thought to the crazy world that we live in. Yes, we live in a crazy world. Newsflash.
Whoa, we're
just so you know. Yeah.
Happy Sunday.
Helping you to rebuild, happy Sundays, helping you to rebuild the Central Valley's housing and credit markets. You know, within every market there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted financial advice. And that's exactly what you're going to hear every Sunday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. right here on News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ.
Changing it up.
I don't know. Johnny's eyes are crossed. I need to get KMJ. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We've got so many people in the studio this Sunday morning. We've got to have bunk desks here. Yes, we are. I hope that our listeners understand that we attempt to take a somewhat serious but mainly lighthearted look. Am I right?
Well, if they listen, yeah.
If they listen, they probably, there's a little more giggling than probably on most news talk shows. So we want to keep it light. Fun. We also want to make it informative, but we do want to make it fun. So thank you all for being here and helping
and being fun.
You're fun people.
Oh, yeah.
In the studio this morning, Johnny B behind the mics, making us sound amazing. Help me to bring my voice back today, would you, buddy? I'm having a hard time for some reason. Lisa Casso, Client Mommy, good morning, kid. Tim O'Hare, our mortgage pro. Magnum PI.
They wouldn't know that. I can't see him.
Yeah. Did you drive your Ferrari here this morning?
I did.
You did.
I just dressed it.
Lisa's referring to his somewhat Hawaiian-looking shirt this morning. Bert Welsh from Win Home Inspections. Bert's our home inspector guy. Love it. You're always dressing the part, too, Bert. Every single doggone time that I see you, he's got his Win Home Inspection hat, his Win Home Inspection shirt, his name on there, on a shirt in the event that he forgets his name.
And did you see a sweet ride down in the parking lot?
I did. You can't miss his ride. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Hey, it's all about branding, right? Right, Bert?
Yes, that's right.
Win Home Inspections. Right. If we could only quantify the number of times that we picked up business, just for the simple fact that you had Win Home Inspections and your phone number on the passenger door.
Right.
Well, on both sides, but, when someone pulls up next to you on the passenger door, and there you go. Maybe we ought to track that for you. That's a great idea. And Casey Rogers from American Home Shield here to talk about home warranties. So we've got Mr. Home Inspection and Mr. Home Warranty here in the studio this morning. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks for having us. Clothes. Thanks for not telling everybody Casey's in his PJs.
Casey's in his PJs.
Hey, it's Sunday morning.
I love it. Hey, at least you feel comfortable amongst friends.
That's right.
The Real Estate Radio Network gives us the opportunity to reach so many people efficiently for one full hour. Each and every week, we call this our collective Sunday morning soapbox. Yes, we do. Our goal of the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market. We are going to share with you some financial secrets that the big banks on Wall Street don't want you to hear, so we can help bring you back home. On today's show, real estate regrets. Well, what home buyers wish they had done differently when they had purchased their home. I'm kind of curious, and we're gonna talk about this real quick. I wonder if it's more of a generational problem. I want it now, or better yet, I want it yesterday. Is paying off your mortgage a good idea? Tim's going to talk about that real quickly. And Tim, I kind of am. Oh, good. Now, just so you know, you've got 6 minutes to prep. No. And rent versus buy. Do you know that the math is changing, but it's also changing differently in different markets? And obviously that has something to do with, some markets have no more land. In other words, they're building no more land. So it just really depends upon, and they're building no more land. Exactly. And as we mentioned, we have Bert Welsh here to talk to our listeners about home inspections, but we're going to talk specifically today about preventive maintenance that could be as a result of maybe some deferred maintenance. And we're going to talk in greater detail on that. And we're also fortunate we have Casey Rogers here with American Home Shield to talk about home warranties and helping to set the right expectation up front with a buyer with regards to home warranties. We're also going to take some listener questions, so make sure you stay with us. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that Casey, that Bert, that Tim, the money guy, shares with you on the show, or let's just say maybe you have a topic that you would really like us to dedicate some time to on the show. It could be an entire show, depending upon the topic. Give us a call anytime. We'd love to hear from you. 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. Take us with you wherever you go and listen to us on your smartphone at KMJNow.com. You can also go to our website, check out our resources online, and search for your next home at ValleyWideSells.com. Well, today's hot properties are brought to you by Win Home Inspections. What a coincidence, Bert. You're here in the studio, and you are sponsoring this hot property segment.
Can't beat that.
I tell you what, whether it's residential, give Bert a call today for all your home inspection needs. Give Bert a call at 559-363-4080. Again, 559-363-4080. We have 3 hot properties today, so it's going to take just a
more bang for your buck.
More bang for your buck today, Bert. 3505 North Stanford Avenue, Fresno, California, 93727. We've featured this property as a hot property for the last few weeks. This 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,000 square foot home built in 1971, and I'm just going to cut to the chase, would make for a great investment property. Located in Clovis Unified School District, Miramonte is the elementary school, Rayburn is the junior high, and Clovis East High School is the high school. Excuse me, I take that back. Roger Orez is the elementary school. This property, if you were to purchase it, at its current list price, and you put 20% down, because with an investment loan or a loan that's used for purchasing an investment property, you have to put, well, you don't have to, but it makes more dollars and cents to put 20% down. Your principal and interest, taxes and insurances payment, based upon an interest rate of 4.5% with an APR of roughly around 4.76%, would be $761. So that's all in. Principal, interest, taxes and insurances. And rents in this particular area fluctuate somewhere between $1,000 and $1,100 a month. So you are plus positive cash flow. So if you are by chance an investor and looking to add a property to your portfolio and looking for instant positive cash flow, now of course you could give it away for $750 a month, but why would you do that if you were a savvy investor? Give us a call anytime, 800-979-3958, and we can set up a private showing of this particular property at your convenience. Now, we've got 2 other very special hot properties as well, 811 Claremont Avenue and 843 Claremont Avenue in Sanger, California. These former model homes, 811 Claremont is 2,797 square foot, 4-bedroom, 3-bath home, built in 2005. It's absolutely huge. 843 Claremont, 2,487 square feet, really shows more like it's 2,800 square feet in terms of the floor plan and how it's laid out. 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, also built in 2005. The list of upgrades on both of these properties is too numerous to mention. On, let's see here, 811 Claremont, there was over $80,000 in builder upgrades on this property. Now check this out. On 843 Claremont, there was $155,000 in builder upgrades, including a pool. It's an amazing, amazing pool in the backyard. There's also a raised pergola. In other words, it's kind of a raised patio next to the actual pool. Custom window coverings, crown molding, front and backyard landscaping. The list goes on and on and on. So for 811 Claremont, we've got 2,797 square feet. List price $299,900. 843 Claremont, we've got 2,487 square feet. List price $289,900. And each of them, just the list is too numerous to mention as far as upgrades are concerned. If you would like more information about either of these three hot properties, and I do mean hot properties, give us a call anytime, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. And we'll send you more information about these hot properties right to your phone. Look for more hot properties each week right here on the Real Estate Radio Network. Well, Real Estate Regrets, what home buyers wish they had done differently when they purchased their home. You know, my first question is, in today's society, is it really so much, and I use my own perspective. Back 4 years ago, when my wife and I purchased our first home together, we took our time. It took us about 3.5, almost 4 months. I kind of tricked her into purchasing this home because originally she went by this home and said, "Nope, don't like it. I don't like the fact that the neighbors and there's a 2-story on either side, and everybody's like looking on top of you." And about 2.5 weeks later, I took her to the same property at a different time of day, and I also drove in a different direction in the neighborhood. So,
wow!
If you know my wife, give her a call. She's not listening to the show this morning.
She never does.
You might share with her that, hey, your husband's on the radio talking about you. I'm not saying bad things, and she knows that she was tricked.
Wow.
It's funny because when I took her in, different time of day, different direction, pulled up, oh, wow, I really like it. Her attitude was totally different. Got inside, wow, I really like this. Walked out into the backyard. You know what? I could see myself living here. At that point, I knew that I had her.
Wow, Craig.
Totally knew that I had her.
Good job.
Yeah. Well, so other than
Good
trickery,
job. Well played.
I just think that nowadays, when they talk about homebuyers having regrets, really, do you have regrets because in 2006 you purchased at the top of the market, or at 2006 you purchased because you felt that the window of opportunity was closing quickly, and so you rushed and you made compromises that you wouldn't normally have made, because you do have to take into consideration market dynamics, the dynamics of the market, how the market is priced. You look at simple economics, supply and demand. Is there great demand and low supply? That's going to affect your decision ultimately. So is it really, when it comes right down to it, does it really speak to, I need to be more patient, I need to understand the dynamics of the market, I need to make sure that the real estate professional that I'm working with is understanding my needs and also helping to talk me off the ledge a little bit? Because if I am a Gen X or a Gen Y and I feel like I need it yesterday, I want information now. But what I don't want to do is buy myself something that, or get myself into a purchase that could potentially be a bad decision. So take your time. Regrets, I think everyone has them. But I think you can minimize those regrets if you take your time, you have some great, honest counsel, and you have a clear and concise list of those things that are most important to you, and those things that you are willing to sacrifice, and those things that you are not willing to sacrifice. I.e., let's say you went into a specific school district or a specific school, and I want my kids to, we've been renting within the school district, and I want them to continue to attend the same school because they're living with their friends. Or understanding just simply that if I buy north of Shaw Avenue in Clovis, that it is going to be a totally different school district. And I have to understand that. Or it's going to be a totally different elementary school and high school versus south of Shaw Avenue. So keeping all those things in mind. Should you make sacrifices? There may be some that you should make, but one of them shouldn't be making a hasty decision as far as where to buy and when to buy. Well, is paying off your mortgage a good idea? Buying a home is one of the biggest investments of a lifetime, but does your client want to be paying on it for the rest of their life? So, in general, is it a good idea to pay off your mortgage sooner? I mean, typically, if you make an additional principal or one additional payment per year, you can shorten the term of that loan by as much as roughly 8 years, depending upon the interest rate that you're paying on it. You make a couple extra payments per year, you could save yourself a tremendous amount of interest over the life of the loan. Most of the time, it is in your interest to pay your mortgage off sooner. But some of the questions you have to ask are, do you have any other debt? Tim, you were going to say something.
Oh, I find it an interesting concept because I hate owing money, period. So Yes, I always want to pay it off early, but I did have a friend actually that it was interesting to me. He wished they had 100-year loans. And I found that kind of odd, but that was just his take on it, because he was like, well, at some point I'm going to either sell the place or, I'm going to make some cash out of the deal, so I might as well pay the lowest payment I possibly can for the longest time. So from that standpoint, I kind of get his idea. But from the other standpoint of I've got an asset that I can use to work for me possibly. Last week when we had, or 2 weeks ago when we had the reverse mortgage guy on, if you got some equity buildup, you work it to where when you turn 62 or 65, maybe you don't have a payment again.
Right.
So, there's probably different philosophies of who likes what, but my personal opinion is I hate owing money.
I think everyone's situation is different. So first and foremost, do you have any other debt? What's the interest rate that you're paying on that debt? Is any of the interest tax deductible as it would be with a mortgage? Secondarily, is your retirement plan on track? If you do not have an emergency savings account, or let's say that you have been contributing, you're self-employed, you've been contributing nothing towards your retirement, I would say you need to take a look at which is most important. Beginning, if you're 50 years old like myself, and let's say you don't have a retirement, you better think long and hard as to where you choose to put your dollars. At some point, paying that mortgage off could be just what you said, part of your retirement strategy, because if you do have more than 50% equity in that property and you're at least 62 years old, which 12 years away, it really does scare me, you could potentially not cancel the debt, but cancel the payment. You still would be responsible for the taxes and insurances that you must pay with on the property with a reverse mortgage, but you'd no longer have to make a payment. And that is so, so huge. As long as you reside in the property, your heirs wouldn't have to, the loan would not be called due and payable. And then lastly, let's take a look at what the property value is. Do you want to be if your property value is potentially declining, and obviously starting in beginning of 2007, we saw that in many markets, obviously nationally. Do you want to be making a payment? And you do have to ask that question on an asset that is declining in value. Well, it depends upon another variable. How much do you owe on that asset? Can you make that payment? If you stop making that payment and you can afford to, that would be considered a strategic default. So
that didn't happen, did it?
No, absolutely not. I'm sure nobody would do that. So it does depend. I think every situation it's different. I think for many generations, Americans were always taught that it is better to pay it off and not owe anything. But at some point, you have to be realistic, because if you expect that Social Security is going to be able to finance you through those times, it's not. It was never intended to be the sole source of your retirement income at any point in time. So you better have planned. Otherwise, here come dog food and washcloths. I'm just being real. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage related questions or questions regarding the information that we share with you on our show, it's very interesting. I got an interesting response out of our studio audience here this morning. Give us a call anytime. 800-979-3958. Just trying to create conversation, guys. Look at the phone lines are lighting up. 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. If by chance you do call in right now and we can't get your phone call, we'll take your threats after we get off the show. Take us with you wherever you go, or listen to us online at KMJNow.com. You can also go to our website, search for your next home, or ask us a question. I need information regarding a reverse mortgage, or I'd like to know how to get my credit score up, or I've got a real estate need. I'm looking for an investment property. Well, we can show you 3505 North Stanford Avenue. Amen. Just go to valleywidesells.com. Well, coming up after the break, we are going to talk about the importance of home inspections with our home inspection expert, Mr. Bert Welsh, here in the studio with Win Home Inspections. Make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping you to redefine real estate here on News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Thinking about buying a home? Find out how the HUD Home Store can help you. Visit HUDHomestore.com. Look at HUD homes available for sale near you or nationwide. Why HUD Home Store? HUD will pay up to 3% of the buyer's closing cost. The price of the home is based on an FHA as-is appraisal, which is already completed, saving you an average of $400. And there is an owner-occupant priority bidding period during the first 30 days. Want to know more? Visit HUDHomestore.com.
Rick Ransom, a local guy, began his career in mortgage lending in 1989. In 91, he became one of the first reverse mortgage lenders in California. Since that time, he's helped hundreds of seniors with reverse mortgages and other senior-related issues. And he's one of the few in this business who is a CPA.
This is Rick Ransom. Much of what you hear on TV and radio is not altogether true. There is misinformation. A reverse mortgage can help you supplement your retirement, pay off your existing mortgage or credit cards, even purchase a new home. If you're ready for a free face-to-face meeting with someone with 45 years experience in the application process, call me at 221-5355. That's 221-5355. I look forward to meeting with you.
DRE number 513201, NMLS number 240770.
Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use press 4 keywords, Arise Solar. All it takes is one call to the professionals at Valleywide Homes, and you'll start building wealth in real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let Craig and his team at Valleywide help. There's never been a better time to get into the real estate market. Start the search for your next home by visiting our website at valleywidesells.com or call toll-free 800-979-3958. That's 800-979-3958, and put the seasoned professionals at Valleywide Homes to work for you.
You're listening to the Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Hey, you know what? Don't hate just because we're trying to keep it lively on a Sunday morning. Right? Everybody's looking at me with big eyes here in the studio. Whoa. I didn't say anything wrong. Come on now. Okay, it's all true stories. It's all true.
And we know
yes.
that is why it was hard to take for just a moment.
For just a moment. Just take a deep breath. It's all good. Now we've got Bert here in the studio. Bert's going to liven it up. We're going to talk about home inspections. Back to you, Bert. And I tell you what, I wanted to say one thing real quick. I understand that none of our listeners can see this, but this is an actual hard copy of or that I'm touching this home inspection report. But I really do have to toot Bert's horn. Say that fast 3 times. What's that?
Or you can compliment.
Or I can just compliment him and just keep it easy. I brought in one of the hard copies of Bert's home inspections that he had recently done for a client of mine. This is one of the most comprehensive reports. You do an amazing job, and when it comes right down to it, the consumer has an awesome resource to make a determination if this is a home, if I want to proceed as far as this transaction is concerned. And I think people need to understand a home inspection is not just a home inspection. A home inspection is informed consent. It is information provided to the buyer that oftentimes the buyer may be paying for. And we're going to talk in just a second in terms of a pre-listing consultation, what exactly that would look like, and talking also about deferred maintenance and helping the seller to understand, hey, you've got some issues that you really need to deal with up front. But it's an amazing resource. It's a tool that every buyer needs. Our job as agents are to ensure that our buyers are informed as well as protected, because if we don't, that's called exposure, or that is called
dog food.
that is called, no, that's not dog food.
Liability.
That's called liability.
But if you keep going.
Yeah. So kudos to you, Bert.
Thanks.
Really, you do a phenomenal job, buddy. So let's talk about home inspections real quick. And you wanted to talk about, specifically today, deferred maintenance.
Right. A lot of people don't realize until they go to sell a house that they have not really kept up on the maintenance of the house.
Surprise.
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
no, seriously.
Yeah.
When you see how, and I'm sorry, if I'm offending someone right at the moment, I really do apologize. And I've never done it before, so this is new territory for me. If you would see how some of the population lives, they really don't care about much, and it's really just a matter of day-to-day getting by and the least amount possible. So as a buyer, you have to understand, you're going to walk into some houses, they're going to be immaculate, they're going to be pristine, they're going to be clean, they're going to be maintained, but not always is that the case.
Right. And we try to help the buyer to determine that by what is cosmetic, meaning carpet, paint, trim, and things like that, versus mold.
That's a buzzword.
Yeah.
For sure.
Fungal damage, termite damage, structural damage, and those kinds of things. And a lot of that, or the AC is not working. Well, this is not the place to live if your AC is not working.
And I think we've seen that this week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Manufacturers say that they should be inspected by a licensed HVAC person twice a year, once before the heater's turned on and once before the AC is turned on. And if you do that, you can make those things last a long time. Most units are warranted for 25 years. So they do pretty good without anything.
Yeah.
But when you start getting over that 25-year thing, you want to make sure you start getting them serviced and maintained. And, deferred maintenance, it's going to show up in the value of the house.
So let's back up just real quick and talk about, when we say deferred maintenance, make sure that our listeners understand deferred maintenance is really, simply put, those items that you should have been tending to that you didn't.
Right. And
now your list is beginning to pile up.
And we usually tell people they're the big ticket items are the ones that I tell them about. I mean, a $25 gutters is no big deal, but $10,000 for your AC system is another thing. So we tell them to stay on top of the HVAC system, the roof. Typically, nobody goes up on the roof until we get there. A lot of people think the tile roofs are a lifetime, and they are if you maintain them.
Right.
But I've done new roofs that are cracked and got slip tiles, and I think it was the guy that did the roof. And when he comes off it, he goes, "Nobody else is going up here, so what the heck?"
Yeah,
I mean, brand new house, So those items, the HVAC, the roof, and you got to watch out for water damage, because a drip here can end up being a mole later down the road. So if you see water dripping under sinks and stuff like that, you better take care of it, because it's going to catch up with you.
Or you mentioned gutters, real simply. A gutter that's not maintained or cleaned out on a regular basis could back up, could seep up into the eave underneath the shingles.
I did one this morning.
Well, there you go.
The gutter was messed up, and we saw water stains on the ceiling on the interior, and the water had backed up and then went up under the shingles.
And once there's water intrusion, it
can be ugly.
It can be
because you
ugly.
don't know how far it's gone. You don't know how much damage it's done. It's a matter of going in and chopping through down and getting down to where it's no more water. So those are things that people can take care of. It amazes me how they'll get an oil change. I think maybe some of these companies, the roof companies, and the HVAC companies need to put a light that goes off just like
like there's a panel in your kitchen that there's a number of lights, and here's roof, and all of a sudden the roof light flashes.
You
get a little siren above it.
But, a roof's going to cost you $12,000. Yet they'll change that oil every whenever it says to do it.
Well, they're telling you they're changing that oil, Bert. But
when I see a pan in the attic, I know that there's a problem.
Somebody's baking some mold in the attic, right?
Exactly. So it's really not that. But walk around the house every now and then instead of looking at the stars, look at the house. And you were talking about gutters. That's an important thing because a lot of the gutters used to be a standard equipment with a house. And I have to say, I got caught on this myself. I bought a new house, and you're so into the house that I'm not looking at gutters. I'm looking at the important.
It's usually not one of those bells and whistles that you check off on the list.
Not until the first big rain and I go out the front door and just get wasted. Oh, man, there's no gutters on this house. So you need to look for those things because it's important to move the water away from the house because you can also have drainage problems. If you have a bad drainage problem and you got water pouring down, and a lot of people will see these stains up on the stucco and they go, what's these brown stains? And it comes from the mud from the water coming off the roof.
Right.
And after a while, stucco can only take so much water before then it starts to get dusty.
With water that gets into the actual stucco and then the expanding and contracting as far as the water is concerned, that's where you see that swelling and that chipping, where you see big chunks of stucco actually that have come off in your flower bed.
Exactly. So if you're caught in that situation and you're ready to sell your house and you know you haven't done anything in the last 10 years and you want to try to get a fair amount, the fair amount for the house, because the appraisal doesn't give you that fair amount. It comes down to the negotiations.
Certainly.
And what happens is that most buyers get their own inspection. So they've sort of, at the end of the deal, they've sort of got the cards in their hands. They've got everything, and they're saying, hey, we want this, and we want that fixed, and this is going to cost that much. Right. So what I tell when you're listing a house, if you're selling your house, get a pre-inspection. Whether you do the work or not, at least you know the dollar amount. You get the repair estimates. You put it in our nice little binder, and when they come, and we give you a placard to hang on the for sale sign that says this house has been professionally inspected by Win Home Inspection. Mm-hmm. So now buyers riding down the street, that gives them an added amount of confidence.
It does translate into, you started, and I apologize, you started to bring up the fact that it does translate into the bottom line as far as what you're able to, as a seller, garner for your home.
Exactly.
And the reason being is there's less that if you have everything addressed as far as the buyer's concerned, there's no potential. And trust me, you'd be surprised talking to buyers how often they think, well, if they think that this is going to, I'm going to negotiate the price down. Well, no, you don't need to be negotiating the price down, especially as a seller. If you've done a phenomenal job making sure that, hey, here's all my reports. As an agent that represents buyers as well, there's nothing that is more comforting when you take a buyer into a property and they've done a pre-listing inspection, and let's say that there was an issue or a potential issue as far as the roof is concerned, or let's say it's a property that's northeast of town and it's known that there's potential water issues. Obviously, we've got a huge water issue in the state of California, but for whatever reason, this well was drilled at 80 foot and the water table's at 120. Well, then obviously that's a problem. Or the pump was replaced. You can save yourself, or make yourself, I should say, a whole lot more money by just having that dealt with up front.
Right. Otherwise, the buyer is going to just beat you up at the end.
Well, it's perceived leverage, right? It's perceived leverage in that. You're asking $378. Well, guess what? I'm gonna offer you $340 because it's going to cost me a lot of time and a lot of money to make those repairs. If you got everything done when you walk in the door, you're able to get top dollar for your property.
I've seen people lose money. I saw about 2 months ago. The buyer said, "Well, it's going to need a roof in a couple of years, so can you knock off $6,000?" And
absolutely.
Yeah, he didn't know what the cost. It was a small house. He didn't know what the cost was. Yeah. He goes, okay, and ended up finding out that he could have gotten the roof done for $4,500. But yeah, you see, knowledge. If you knew up front, you know how to negotiate. If you wait until the buyer comes in with all his people and all his numbers and everything, you've got nowhere to go but backwards.
And if the buyer does want to come in and secure their own home inspection, obviously that's totally and completely fine. Absolutely. Sure. But at least you as the seller go in knowing, here's my set of data. Right. The house has been inspected. Here is all of the corrective issues that call for corrective action. I've dealt with everything as far as that's concerned. I had the company that installed the new pump
you had the warranty
3 years ago. Yeah. You have the water tested, all those types of things for potability and so forth. That way, you look like you're 10 foot tall and bulletproof when it comes time for selling that property.
Exactly.
Any other potential issues as far as deferred maintenance that come to mind that you as of late?
Boy, they seem to pop. They seem the same ones all the time. It's roof issues, it's HVAC issues, and water is the biggest of all. And then we get a lot of electrical issues, which are typically caused by the homeowner themselves. The guy goes out.
I watch HGTV. Yeah, come on, I should be able to do it myself.
And the guy, most guys, I don't know, say most guys, but I see it a lot. They get the house.
No, it's most guys.
And they get pushed out into the garage, and so they're going to make this their man cave. They've been pushed. Don't put your shoes in there. Don't hang nothing. So they end up in the garage. Yeah. And then so they don't have, in the garage you only put a few outlets because you're not supposed to be out there living to begin with. So, they don't have enough for that.
You heard it here.
Yeah, they started running wires. They got loose connections. Stuff is firing.
Everything's daisy-chained together.
Yeah. He's got his flat screen TV. He's living large.
Popcorn
then they move
popper.
out. They move out. And we walk in and it's like, what happened here? And so it's just stuff like that. Water is a big one. Water is a real. Water. The water intrusion. And here's one. They don't cut the trees around the house.
Here I tell you what.
Direct access.
Did you ever think that not trimming a tree could cause a rodent infestation in your attic?
I didn't. I really didn't.
Well, guess what?
It also causes bad sprinklers with the root systems too.
Yes, it does.
I just repaired mine and it was no fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So rodents in your attic, mark my word, make sure that you keep your trees
6
trimmed.
to 12 inches away from the property. That's how the cats, and we did one this morning. There were rats in the attic, and that's how, and the trees were all over it.
And hope that the rats. What's that?
Sounds like a band.
Well, thank goodness the rats. Well, be really scared if they learn how to fly, because then, if it's more than
those are bats.
Those are bats.
But and the other thing is that the trees rubbing against the siding and the roof will wear. If you got a composition roof, will wear it down. Will wear the siding off. Just simple stuff, Just cut them away. Yeah.
So if you'd like Bert to come out and do a pre-listing inspection for you, well, let's talk about whether you're a seller or whether you're an agent. That is something that's huge. So whether you're a seller or an agent and you'd like Bert to come out and do a pre-listing inspection, give Bert a call, 559-363-4080. Again, 559-363-4080. Bert will come out, do a phenomenal inspection for you, and help you to net more monies on your bottom line as far as your sales concerned. You heard it here on the Real Estate Radio Network.
Thank you, Craig.
Awesome. Thanks so much, buddy. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that you hear on our show, give us a call anytime. It starts with one call, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. Take us with you wherever you go and listen to us on your smartphone. Or we can just pile in the back seat in your car and we'll just talk to you to and from church, in the afternoon on your way to a picnic. Just take us with you, please.
Because we are bored.
Because we are, trust me, we're definitely not bored.
I know.
We're boring. Or go to our website and search for your next home at valleywidesells.com. Well, after the break, we're going to talk with Casey Rogers from American Home Shield on the importance of protecting the largest purchase of your lifetime and setting the right expectation with your buyer. Make sure you stay with us. You're listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping you to redefine real estate here on News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ.
This program is brought to you by Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Rick Ransom, a local guy, began his career in mortgage lending in 1989. In 91, he became one of the first reverse mortgage lenders in California. Since that time, he's helped hundreds of seniors with reverse mortgages and other senior-related issues. And he's one of the few in this business who is a CPA.
This is Rick Ransom. Much of what you hear on TV and radio is not altogether true. There is misinformation. A reverse mortgage can help you supplement your retirement, pay off your existing mortgage or credit cards, even purchase a new home. If you're ready for a free face-to-face meeting with someone with 45 years experience in the application process, call me at 221-5355. That's 221-5355. I look forward to meeting with you.
DRE number 513201, NMLS number 240770.
Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
Thinking about buying a home? Find out how the HUD Home Store can help you. Visit HUDHomestore.com. Look at HUD homes available for sale near you or nationwide. Why HUD Home Store? HUD will pay up to 3% of the buyer's closing cost. The price of the home is based on an FHA as-is appraisal, which is already completed, saving you an average of $400. And there is an owner-occupant priority bidding period during the first 30 days. Want to know more? Visit HUDHomestore.com.
All it takes is one call to the professionals at Valleywide Homes, and you'll start building wealth in real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let Craig and his team at Valleywide help. There's never been a better time to get into the real estate market. Start the search for your next home by visiting our website at valleywidesells.com or call toll-free 800-979-3958. That's 800-979-3958, and put the seasoned professionals at Valleywide Homes to work for you.
You're listening to the Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
You know, I was going to say that Casey was going to take us home, but that actually sounded inappropriate on a Sunday morning. Take us to the end of the show. How's that? Is that better? I mean, for all you, get your mind out of the gutter, please. Come on. Gosh dang it. So we've got what's that, Jim?
Never been there.
I've never been there. We've got Casey Rogers with American Home Shield here in the studio with us. And it's a great little team we've got here with Bert and with Casey, because it is so very much related to preparing to sell your home, selling your home, ensuring that you're getting your properties inspected, but then also ensuring and giving you a little peace of mind in the event that something does happen. Something breaks, right, Casey?
That's right.
So we're going to talk about home warranties and the importance of a home warranty, but we're also going to talk about, I think more importantly, you had mentioned setting the expectation with the buyer for a home warranty.
Absolutely. You know, there's a number of benefits to a home warranty, you know, for all parties involved. For a seller, it's going to make when they do include a home warranty, it's going to make their home more saleable and reduce liability after the sale. So they're going to fare better by.
I think most folks should be all for reducing liability after the sale.
Absolutely,
really?
Yes.
Amen.
Yeah. And, you know, it's funny because when a home warranty is included in the sale of a home, the price actually goes up just by a little bit with that added peace of mind, and it sells more quickly. I think on an average of 11 days more quickly when a home warranty is included. So, you know, it's a small price to pay for that kind of.
So why wouldn't you want to get a pre-listing inspection and a home warranty to make sure that you could sell your home for more? Because honestly, it's hard to argue. I mean, it really is. It's hard to argue when a buyer says, now hold on here, you've already done the inspection for me, or a pre-listing inspection for me, and you've corrected the items that were broken, that weren't covered under the home warranty. And then you've also purchased a home warranty, or you're willing to share in the expense of a home warranty, a 1-year home warranty. Now, I've got nothing. Let's just get this sucker into contract, right?
Absolutely. And the seller can also put a home warranty on just strictly for the listing and escrow period. So if something goes wrong during that time, or if Bert finds something in a home inspection that the homeowner was unaware of, that's something that we're probably going to cover.
Bats in the attic.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Bats in the attic. I don't think we don't cover bats in the attic.
That was your disclosure here on the Real Estate Radio Network.
They could always get a writer, couldn't they?
Yeah. A writer for
And, for a buyer, obviously, they're going to receive, a year of our valuable coverage. And it's interesting to note that on average, in the first year of their policy with American Home Shield, homeowners call us 2.3 times on average in that first year. So
not
the value is
surprised.
there for the price they pay for the home warranty. I mean, I think it's a really, really great value and just added peace of mind. And for the realtor and, the agents involved, again, it reduces that liability after the sale. I like to tell agents, when there's a problem with the home after somebody has moved in, they're going to call you. Their agent.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah, you just want to be able to give them our 800 number and say, call this number right here, and they'll come out and take care of that for you. There are a few things I'd like to share, though. With that, I like to share expectations because, it seems the only time we have, cranky customers, if ever, is when they don't understand because the expectation hasn't been set.
Nobody likes cranky customers. And if you do take the time, if you just slow down and take the time to set expectations with a buyer, it tends to alleviate most all problems that you could potentially face down the road.
Absolutely. So, expectation, I think one of the big ones is that we do put these home protection plans on homes with the understanding that everything is in good, proper working order. After Bert has done a home inspection, that's absolutely wonderful. I think one of the common errors is negotiating, thinking that we will cover the things that don't work. So when
we're giggling here because we've heard that, and we've heard that also brought up in after a sale has closed, and an agent says, "Hey, I'll buy a home warranty for you to take care of those things." That is, number one, wrong. It's not covered. It is a pre-existing condition.
Absolutely.
So you can't go in as an agent. Just so if you're an agent and within earshot of this show this morning, just understand that can't fix the problems that were created up front.
Correct. I've heard people even say, I'm not going to get a home inspection, I'll get a home warranty to cover anything that's wrong with it.
No.
That's just not, unfortunately, that's not the way it works. Like I said, we expect everything to be in good, proper working order. We don't cover pre-existing conditions that are known about or should have been known about by the homeowner. Number two, we cover things that are failures, breakdowns caused by normal wear and tear. We don't cover things like theft, vandalism, misuse, abuse, pest damage, and human damage, frankly.
Which could be abuse as well.
Absolutely. Well, and it's funny, something that people don't think about.
Yeah, anger management, exactly.
Dogs urinating on the air conditioning compressors outside.
Right.
That can wreak havoc on those, am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And people are always dumbfounded when they call, and that's the issue, and we don't cover it. They're absolutely dumbfounded. They don't understand why we won't cover it. We don't.
It's dog abuse. of HVAC units.
That's right. And so, also, we don't provide emergency service. We're here to maintain the mechanical. We'll cover mechanical breakdown of systems and appliances, but we don't provide any type of emergency service. As much as we like to, we don't have American Home Shield trucks all throughout the valley to, run to somebody's house to fix their air conditioning unit. We go through a process where it's going to be taken care of just as quickly as we possibly can. Get somebody out there, but it's not going to be an emergency service where we have somebody out there at 10 o'clock at night to, repair a water heater. And most common item not covered by the home protection plan is going to be missing parts, surprisingly. Oftentimes we just sent a tech out to repair an AC. There were a number of parts missing. We're not going to cover that because it wasn't whole to begin with.
It seems so obvious.
We don't know why it doesn't work, Casey.
Somebody took it. We've seen, which we're so used to that.
Absolutely.
Missing windows, is that covered?
Missing windows is not covered. Yeah, we don't cover the structure of the home. We cover the systems of the home. But that's a good question because people do call on things like, honestly, windows, doors. We don't cover those things. Somebody just called about wallpaper that was peeling from the wall. That's not going to be covered by a home protection plan.
Wallpaper peeling from the wall.
Truly.
Should have used a different kind of glue.
Yeah, exactly.
We just had a lady recently, I'll share with you real quick. I have to share this story. A lady had called in because she had a leaking water heater, which typically is covered. We actually sent a tech out to the home, and what he discovered, and that she failed to share with us, is the water heater was in the garage. She'd run into it with her car. So unfortunately, that's something that we weren't able to service.
That's an entirely different insurance company to call at that point, right?
Absolutely.
You should have called your auto insurance.
AAA.
Yeah. So,
Maybe she did. Maybe she figured one of them would cover it.
Absolutely.
Actually, little do you know, you were the second. She already called them, and they said, call your home warranty.
She called her. Never mind.
And, lastly, one thing I want to share is, secondary damage isn't covered by our policies, in that when there's a leak in the wall and it, unfortunately causes damage to the drywall, the carpet, and things like that, we'll send somebody out. They're going to fix the leak, but we're not going to, make everything whole. We're not going to replace carpet, replace drywall, and those types of things.
Could be homeowners insurance?
Absolutely. I would think that would be a better call for, like you said, the homeowner's insurance, but not the home warranty. But people seem to, I think they're just unaware. We do a great job of getting people a brochure up front. Their agents share with them. They can read through. It's got all things that are covered and explains how we work. We send them, after they close escrow, we send them an email if we have their email address where they can download their policy, so they have it right there in front of them. And we also snail mail them a hard copy of their policy. So it just, it's a matter of just educating themselves a little bit and just getting a better understanding of what it is we do. So our coverage is fantastic. It is just peace of mind. Like I said, 2.3 times people call us in the first year that they have our policy. And if you notice, things just aren't built the way they used to be. From appliances to HVAC units, they don't last like they used to. So it's interesting, refrigerators don't seem to last like 25 years anymore. And I don't know if you guys are aware of this. Just the way the technology is going, everything's getting built, I think, a little bit cheaper. They just don't last as long. They're just not built to last. But appliances are now coming with USB ports. Were you guys aware of this?
No.
Where a tech can now go out to, like on a brand new refrigerator. Yeah, just like on a car. They can plug into the refrigerator and go through the whole diagnostics on their computer right there at the refrigerator. Cool. So that's it's not common quite yet, but it's getting out there. It's really interesting how things change. But like I said, things just aren't built the way they used to. I just talked to a friend of mine, who bought a new refrigerator, put their old one in the garage, and which they've had for 25 years, put the new one in their kitchen, which they've had now for about 5 years. They've already had that service twice. The one in the garage is still humming without any service.
There you go.
Wow.
So it's just interesting how things just don't last quite as long.
Nothing like a Maytag.
Absolutely.
Or Whirlpool.
There's just, more and more value in our product, frankly, in what we do. So we're there to, help people. That's one of the most frustrating things for a new homeowner is unexpected breakdowns in their home. So that's what we're there to take care of.
So if whether you're an agent or whether you're a listener this morning, now to clarify, an agent can contact you if they want to get more information about the product and services that you offer with regards to American Home Shield.
Definitely.
Best way to contact you, Casey?
My cell phone is 559-259-0401.
Awesome. And now let's say you're a consumer and you're a seller, and they want to contact you. Same thing, same number. They want to get a home warranty in place. They want to, for the purposes of coverage through the escrow term or prior to. Can a seller actually purchase a home warranty prior to getting into the contract, or they can just say, "Hey, we're willing to purchase a home warranty to cover once we close escrow"? Is that how that would work?
Well, they can do both. What they can do is they can actually put a seller's policy on their home as soon as it is listed on the MLS. Once it's listed on the MLS, they can add our seller policy to their home.
Super.
And then at the close of escrow, that's only $1 a day. They'll pay $1 a day for that listing and escrow period. And once it closes escrow, we'll be happy to provide the 1-year policy for the home buyer.
Super.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's worth it.
Again, it's added peace of mind, and it helps get more money for the home and sell more quickly.
There you go. So this might sound, it's actually not an odd question, but Jose from Fresno asked, my wife and I bought a home a year ago, and recently our garage door broke. So not really sure. It was the
opener, or
it was
the driver.
The opener.
It was the driver. The
It was
driver drove over.
Okay. So the driver broke. And also our pool pump stopped working. Is it too late to get a home warranty?
Yes, unfortunately,
Yes.
let's get a home warranty to cover those items while they're not in proper working
It's
order.
no longer.
Now they're broken.
Yeah, it's a good place to start. You can protect everything from here on out.
Absolutely.
Now you've got perspective as to what it's going to cost you to fix those things. And all you had to do was purchase a home warranty up front.
Correct. Yeah, and that's what happens. And it's interesting. We have a direct-to-consumer product. I'm typically involved in real estate transactions where people are buying a home warranty for a home that they're purchasing. We do have a direct-to-consumer department where anybody that maybe has owned their home for 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, however long, can add a home warranty to their home. But one thing that they have is a 15-day waiting period. It's really interesting how some people call up, say, I need to order a home warranty for my home in the middle of summer. And once we explain to them there's a 15-day waiting period, okay, never mind, thank you. I'm sure they're not trying to.
I can't be that hot for that long.
Right.
No, they wouldn't do that.
No. So
Yeah, of course they wouldn't, Bert. Come on now.
yeah, it's a small price to pay for the peace of mind. Like Bert's product or service, it's not very costly, but it's like in our case, it's $365 for a single family residence under 5,000 square feet.
But it would be a good purchase though for someone like Bert was saying. If your air conditioning unit lasts for roughly 25 years, at year 22, 23, you start purchasing that policy.
Right.
I mean,
absolutely. My house was built in 1979, and I keep a home warranty on my home. And it's not, I don't get it for free. I still pay for it. But I do that for the peace of mind. I have those other things covered, but in my mind, the AC is, 25 years old.
Yeah, it's due.
Yeah.
It's due. Don't jinx it, Tim. Come on now.
Mr. Positive here to bring out the sunshine.
I'm just bringing it home.
You're just keeping it real on Real Estate Radio Fresno, aren't you?
But it is peace of mind. I mean, I've got my home covered, of course, including the AC. I've got my pool covered. I've got my well pump covered, and appliances as well. So those are things that you can add on. We don't, when a home has a pool, you have to specifically order pool coverage, which is going to be at an additional cost. Same with appliances, well pump, things like that.
The boat.
The boat.
Yes, just call your call AAA and they'll take care of it. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage related questions or questions regarding the information that Casey, Bert, even Tim, and little Miss Lisa share with you this Sunday morning, give us a call anytime, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. Take us with you wherever you go and listen to us on your smartphone at KMJNow.com. You can also go to our website and search for your next home, or even ask questions of all the professionals that we have here on the Real Estate Radio Network by going to Valleywide Sells. That's ValleyWideSells.com. A big thank you to our special guest host, Bert Welsh with Win Home Inspections. If you're looking for a pre-listing inspection or a home inspection, if you're looking to buy a home, give Bert a call, 559-363-4080. Casey Rogers, American Home Shield. Casey, your number again.
559-259-0401.
Awesome. And also, big thank you to Tim O'Hare and little Miss Lisa this morning.
Glad
Johnny
to be
B
here.
behind the mic. Thanks. Appreciate having you.
Yeah.
Keeping it colorful. And Johnny B behind the mics. Great job, buddy. Always great to see you. Our goal with the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market. We're going to tell you what the big banks on Wall Street don't want you to hear, so we can help bring you back home. Don't forget to tune into the Real Estate Radio Network next Sunday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. on News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ. Local news, local talk. Make it a great day, Central California, and we will see you next week.
The preceding is paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.